Hey everybody, KC here. So I was having a conversation with a supermarket executive the other day about, the after times, what things are going to be like after the pandemic has receded. And one of the things that came up was the remarkable human resources opportunity that exists out there for companies. Because one of the things lots of companies have learned, at least at their headquarters support offices, is that people don't have to come into the office, right? People can work remotely. But when you think about it, one of the things that does potentially is open up the field of people who could be hired for various jobs to people who you might not have access to because either they can or don't want to move to whatever location you happen to be in. So let's say you had a company in the middle of the country and it was looking for a head merchandiser, right? Or somebody, or a buyer for a particular category. Well, that person doesn't necessarily have to live in the middle of the country. What if there's somebody really great that they'd love to hire who either lives in Boston or Seattle or San Diego or Texas or Bentonville, Arkansas? Well, suddenly you can reach out to that person because you've figured out they don't necessarily have to be in the office. Maybe they come in the office 1-2 days a month. Suddenly you have access to so many more people that you wouldn't have had access to otherwise. And by the way, it works the other way too. Suppose, you're a person and you're living in San Diego and you don't really want to live in San Diego. Well, potentially you could work for companies all over the country without having to be there. I just think it's going to be an interesting time that could actually create new levels of innovation for a lot of these companies. Because in fact, if you're a company that's in the middle of the country and you have people working for you remotely who live in the Pacific Northwest, San Diego, Atlanta, New England, they're going to have access to ideas that you might not have access to ordinarily without taking a trip. They're going to see things that maybe they could bring back to you that will simply, change the way you market. Ooh, I saw this thing in the supermarket here. We ought to try that in our stores and see if it works. It's going to give the companies that take advantage of it and use it to their benefit, it's going to potentially give them a differential advantage that'll be really unique going forward. So we've learned that people don't necessarily have to be in the office when it comes to work. We know that there's a lot of people who are saying they really don't want to go back to the office. Well, it seems to me this is a great moment to take that and mold it to our advantage in a way that make our companies better and stronger and more innovative and not lose anything in the process. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.